Welcome to Tarqaron.
We're
Tarqaron, where
here.
we review movies, video games, TV, talk about stuff.
We're always reviewing something, Zach. It's always the next thing, right?
Basically, at least every
I
other
mean,
week we're reviewing something. Feels like.
well, this itself isn't the next thing. It's the prelude to the next thing.
Yeah.
Um, 23 years ago, this came out, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy to say.
So we made it a habit for some reason on our channel to review all the live action Disney movies. And this year we made a point, so now we're going to try to review the original the week before. So we have a
Hmm.
direct reference comparison
Mm.
and it'd be nice and fresh for us. So this is
Mm.
one of the rare ones where we've both seen it. And
Yep. Yep.
I know you just saw it like what was it, a year or two ago for
It's
the
just
first time?
like yeah. Let me call up my letterboxd. I have it here. Yeah, just like 18 months ago, September 2023.
Hmm. This is one I kind of grew up
Yeah.
with. So I had this and then the Lilo and Stitch TV series, which I watched here and there. And ironically, just
Yeah,
the beginning of this year for our TV challenge on the Discord, I watched Lilo and Stitch.
yeah.
So
The series.
yeah, the series,
Yeah.
the
There's like
first
there
season at
was an
least.
anime too that came out too. That was like that came out in like the
This is news to me.
early 2010s. Yeah, well it was branded on the Disney Channel not as an anime when it came out, but it was produced in Japan.
Hmm.
Um so I think Stitch like moves to Japan in it or something. I don't
The
know.
hell? This is
It's a whole
real?
thing.
This is not like a dream you had?
This is 100% real. Yeah.
Alright.
This is a thing. Yep.
We'll fact check it.
Yeah.
Fact
Okay. I
checkers.
mean, sure. Yeah. Our editor, Zach, will fact
Yeah.
check.
So as we start all the reviews, we start off with our gut
Hmm.
check, which is our initial score
Okay.
coming in out of 10. What we're thinking now. We'll review it, and then if we want to change it, we can. We'll lock in our final score at the end. All right.
All
Three,
right.
two, one, flip. 8.
8.
That's a synergistic. We just
That's
synergized.
synergy.
Yeah.
Synergy. All right. You gotta love that Tarqaron synergy. It happens every so often. It's always a
And then
delight.
it's whether it actually sticks out to the end or not. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Um,
Um,
this movie's ass. So it's an 8 out of 10.
yeah, 8. It's
Hmm.
8 out of 100.
No, it's like always. I think I always had like nostalgia goggles for it. So like, if you were to ask me
Yeah.
what I would give this score, I would have said like a 9 out of 10.
Mm,
So upon reviewing it now, I'm like, okay, it's a little more simple. It's a little more like
yeah.
contained, which isn't always a bad
But
thing. But
that's actually what I like about it. I think that's kind of what I like the most
yeah,
about it is that it is a very um it's a very like grounded story, which is like kind of a funny thing to say when it's about like an alien that like lands on Earth who's running away from
literally
his
grounded.
owners, captors.
Yeah,
So, yeah, but it's like some of the most realistic dynamics I've seen. Like even to this day, it still has like if for animated characters, it's some of the most like wow, they know how siblings like act
yeah,
with each other, like in a perfect, wonderful, sweet, and funny and aggravating way. And it's like they get that like it's like just boom right there, right perfect sweet spot of
yeah,
how sisters act with each other. I get vibes for like how I acted with my older brothers with this too. Um,
mm,
I was a little snot nose with a weird imagination. Maybe not quite as out there as Lilo has a very. It's unbelievable. It's always hilarious. Like literally every like little one liner she has is just like
mm-hmm.
it's so good. It's
Yeah,
so
she's great.
funny.
She's great. Such a great
Yeah,
voice too.
yeah.
Like the
Mm.
perfect voice for that character. Um, yeah. So it's like it's a sweet family movie at its core. It's about family, you know. the
Yeah.
lines you always
Yep.
remember about Ohana, and Ohana means family. Family
Right.
means nobody gets left behind. And that's
Right.
what the basis of the movie. And it's like not only with like the very small, there's actually a very small amount of literal family. Most of it is found family at the end of the day. So
Yeah.
just Lilo and Nani, sisters, and then Stitch comes along. And really, like, I have so much in my mind from the Lilo and Stitch series that, like,
Hmm.
Jumba and Pleakley are, like, so much more of a big presence in that show. There's, like,
Oh, really? Are
they're,
they
like,
they're around
essentially
the
a
whole
part
time?
of the family at that point, you know? And
Oh,
they're really not, they're just,
Oh,
like, ancillary characters in here, but they're still fun.
phenomenal. Yeah, I mean, and to go back to the voice work, also, this is like a who's who of like the working actors. Like, aside from like the lead cast who were I I think they were actors. I don't know like the whole. I don't remember their whole history, but
Yeah.
like
Not like
where
AAA
you have
stars.
yeah, all the whole voice cast is just lousy with like working actors,
Mm.
working voice actors, and they're all so good. It's such a talented cast. It's such a fun cast.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, it's like if you watch cartoons in the '90s and 2000s, you heard like all of these voice actors working in
Mm.
something. Um, and Yeah, I mean, so credit to that, particularly to the voice actor of Bubbles, Gopher
Gilbert
Bubbles.
Bubbles. Okay, yeah.
um,
Shout out to Chris
who I
Sanders, too. Chris Sanders, who's the amazing voice of Stitch, and
hmm
just recently made an amazing movie. He just made a Wild Robot. Just directed that movie.
Well, that was that his?
Yeah.
He directed that? That's awesome.
So he's like
Because like this was
still
a
out here doing stuff, like making
because this
huge waves.
I think this was a story idea of his, from memory. This
Mm-hmm.
was like a story idea of his from like in like the '90s
Oh
or
yeah.
something. Like he
In
had
the
this
opening
idea like a
credit, it was
long
like
time ago.
based on an idea from Chris Sanders.
Yeah, because I think he was planning on doing a storybook or something, and then Disney was like pitching, I like trying to be like, all right, what do we got for this? Right, ideas? We need some ideas, and then they started developing this as a movie in like the '90s.
Mm.
Um, so, uh,
Yeah, I believe it.
yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, yeah,
and good thing we got him for the live action one at the very least. You know, that's the very least we
oh,
can
he's
have a
involved in that too.
like he's Stitch. Yeah, he still
Oh well,
voices
yeah,
Stitch.
yeah. He's still,
So at the very
yeah,
least, we have a reliable. You know, that's
he's
the
a
baseline. Stitch is always
uh,
there. Through line.
reliable through thread, or yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
So it's sweet. I mean,
yeah,
the music is great. I love. I think this movie's got a great vibe to it. I've always loved the vibe of the movie.
Yeah, it's got a nice that Alan Silvestri score is just like if you've heard his work in like other I want to say he was like the Galaxy Quest. He did that soundtrack as well. And
Hmm.
there's very strong Galaxy Quest vibes from the soundtrack. Um but in addition to that, you also have Elvis features very strongly in this, and it's like it's great.
Yeah.
I mean Elvis is like what hasn't already been said or written about Elvis. I mean, his music is, uh, you know, generational at this point. I mean, I think most people these days, it's almost just like kind of take him for granted or take the concept of Elvis for granted. But like, um, it's a lot of great music that he made, you know.
I mean,
So
Elvis walked so that Shakira could run in terms of hip movement. Her hips never would have been able to lie if it weren't for him. Yeah. So the thing I like most is I think the just the tiny details of like a Stitch in particular, like his little mannerisms, his expressions. He's so
Mm,
expressive and he's fun as a character. And then he's got a great, I mean, it's such a great voice that obviously we're just so used to it by now. But if you just think about this voice by itself, Like when it, not only just like the little noises he makes, but then when he gives those lines, like those iconic scenes at the end when he's talking about family and Ohana, they just hit every time in that Stitch voice. You
It's
just
Ohana means family. Yeah.
family
It's
moves. Yeah, and it's like he's got like a nice little heart in there, you know.
yeah. Yeah. Well, it's fun too cuz like the advertising around this movie was very bizarre. I don't know if you saw any of it. Um but they released multiple trailers where it was like Stitch invading
Oh
various
yeah, I
famous
remember that.
scenes
Yeah.
of Disney Renaissance movies. So like he interrupts the ballroom scene in Beauty and the
Mm.
Beast. He like drops the chandelier. He ruins that moment, and then he like wolf whistles at Belle. It's very it's very strange.
Okay.
Um, and he also steals Jasmine from Aladdin.
Hmm.
Uh, on the magic carpet ride
Yeah.
scene. I'm trying to think if there's another one in there. I don't remember, but so the advertising was very bizarre. And it was kind of like he's just this chaotic, strange creature. Um, and even seeing like the way Stitch is portrayed in like Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep has like Lilo has a Lilo and Stitch thing. It's more just Stitch because it takes place on the carrier. It's like it weirdly takes place I think before the movie. I don't even. It's kind of a weird thing. I don't know, but um, what? Yeah, I guess it technically takes place before the movie. But what's weird about it is that like um you don't that basically all of that stuff didn't really give me an idea of what element Stitch is actually playing in the plot. Like the advertising of that makes him, yeah, he's like a chaotic beast
Yeah.
kind of creature, and then it's like then like the trailers all made it seem like okay, well then Lilo gets him as a pet, so it's like is he going to be like a pet creature, and it's like he's like the catalyst for her and her sister's relationship. Like I didn't get a sense that like no, Stitch was like not just an element of chaos, even though he is that. It's like he very much has his own like motivations for doing like everything.
Hmm.
Um and like having him sort of like he's kind of the arc is sort of his arc in terms of the story. It's sort of like he's the changing figure. He's the one that overcomes his what Dr. Juba Jumba. I don't
Jumba.
remember his name. Jumba. Um, kind of like what he created him to be. But he like overcomes that sort of like that element of like, oh well, you weren't he doesn't know anything about you. He just created you, and he's like, I programmed to be all this stuff. But it's like, no, he overcomes whatever expectations were on him to be a essentially a weapon,
Hmm.
and he has a heart down there. Like he learns to care about this family that he's just kind of doesn't really want to have anything. He's sticking by them for convenience for his own sake pretty much the whole time, so he can try to find a way off the planet while kind of like blending in. Um, but he's really like he doesn't really care about them for like a long period of time, and I just kind of like that. It's just kind of a fun dynamic.
Hmm.
Until he just sort of like learns over time to just sort of start caring about them, and I really like that a lot. I think that's super. It makes the movie sweet in a way, that which is again fun because it's like then you have this sister element where it's like they're getting in the most realistic looking arguments, like the most realistic arguments I've seen, where they're just screaming at each other
Hmm.
over nothing and everything. I love that scene. I love the scene where they're just
Yeah.
screaming at each other in the house. It's so good. It's so like I feel that. Like I get that so much.
There's this interesting dynamic that comes from her being not only being her older sister but also raising her,
Yeah,
and even like
maybe like
have
her mother sort of
conversations
thing.
about that. It was like she likes her better as a sister than as a mom, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that mixed in there with Stitch's
Mm.
presence, and I think they knew with when they had Stitch that they had something special there. So that's why the marketing made sense. It's like just throw him
Yeah.
at people and was like, well, I don't even know what the movie's about, but look at that guy. And
Yeah,
it's
it's
just
just
striking
like look at this crazy little creature.
compared to a lot
Her
of Disney movies in general. If you just look at the main person, it's like, oh, that's a princess, or that's a person, that's a an
mm,
animal maybe, but this one's
yeah.
like uniquely striking.
Yeah. And on that note, the they don't spend a ton of time on it, but they spend enough time for it to be really interesting. And I can see where they sort of maybe expanded on this in the TV series, but like the alien civilization stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Super interesting. Like I feel like there's so much of that universe and that world that is out there, but we're getting this nice little this perfect little vertical slice of like this is what this kind of civilization is
Right.
about and what they're like. And that's fun because you spend the first like 10 minutes of the movie with them pretty practically. Like it's like before we even get the title screen, before we get down to
Yeah.
Hawaii, it's just like spending time with them, seeing what's going on, what their problems are, and how Stitch gets to Earth to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, and that's I really like that. I mean, you know, it's a sci-fi fan. That's fun seeing that stuff sort of play out because, like, and with that, even though it has this huge galactic universe idea, it's like this is still probably the most like down to earth, like grounded Disney movie of the time period.
Yeah.
Really, it's a very like simple little adventure film that isn't going too many places. So you're not going off to like you know we're not going and discovering magic lamps, or you know we're not discovering a long lost castle in a forest and falling in love. And no, it's just like the story about this little found family in
Yeah, with
Hawaii.
like Hawaiian culture at the center of it. It's
Yeah,
like, yeah, you wouldn't
yeah.
if you look at Stitch, you wouldn't be like, okay, that guy's gonna be in a movie with about like with a lot of Elvis and Hawaii is the
Yeah.
location. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And then even at the end of it, when it comes down to it, you get that intergalactic Federation lady, like, and Cobra Bubbles have like a brief exchange, and it's like the
Yeah.
last 5-10 minutes of the movie, and then that's about it. You don't even she's not even that involved in the movie or interacting with the characters that much. But
Mm.
it's just like a nice little sweet exchange, and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, because
But
he was apparently working at the during the Roswell incident. So
yeah,
um
they got some history going. Yeah. And so yeah, so something I've noticed now watching the series is that definitely if you like Jumba and Pleakley, you get a lot more of them in the series. Even Gantu is like he's like marginally in this movie compared to what he's like
mm,
he's the constant running gag villain in the show. So
sure.
all sorts
That
of
makes sense.
antics. So Pleakley, we get just a hint of it of him being a drag icon that he is in this movie.
Yeah, I was gonna be like, yeah, he's a drag icon.
He love. He's
He
just
loves
like, oh, you're just jealous because I'm pretty. He just goes
it.
all into it. By the end of it, he's just into it. And but Stitch just biting his face like it's crazy. Whole face inside his mouth.
The whole face, yeah. Just chomping down on it in the middle of a restaurant of all
Yeah.
places. For
Yeah, and then you have David. David is a pretty cool guy.
you know what? I love him.
Yeah.
He's so wholesome. He's such a wholesome
Just sweet
boy.
guy,
You
yeah.
know?
Huh?
Yeah,
Just wants to date with Nani.
yeah.
And you know that Nani likes him because Lilo says that she likes his butt and what else?
He's,
His
he's
cool
cute.
hair.
Something. His cool
Some
hair. Yeah, his
yeah.
butt and his cool hair. I've read her diary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just a great little cast. Even if we don't get
Mm,
much of most of them, mostly it's just Lilo, Stitch, and Nani are most of the movie, and the other
hmm
ones are there for brief iterations, and they flesh it out in the series though. But yeah, I think that ending scene that that's so quoted, the Ohana means family. I think that's the most
Hmm.
important scene. It's the one I always remember the most. Is like it has the most impact to me in the movie.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's good because it's like it. That is sort of that is the through line of the film, and it's good seeing it's like that was something that he retained, that he held on to through the whole time, because it's like
Mm,
it's a thing that they is mentioned, brought up a few times in the movie, but um yeah, it's a nice sweet kind of way to bring it all together. um
yeah, and we
yeah.
also have Myrtle and her little posse in the beginning of the film. They're all picking on Lilo. And again, all that is
sorry
just
sorry for
exaggerated even more in the series. She's just so annoying in the series. Like it's nonstop with the same thing. And then the girl's always going, yeah, after everything she says. But
sorry for biting you
I
and punching you in
love how
the
she immediately
face.
punches her right in the face the first thing she
She does.
does.
He punches her right in the face. Yeah. um,
One more thing is has always been a weird thing looking back on this movie is that we have shades of Memoir of a Snail with Lilo's photography style that she appreciates.
yeah,
She's
yeah.
like big on the
She's
fat, like really zooming in
the
on fat
tourist.
people and
It's
but
it's I
specifically
think
fat people and
fat people. Yeah,
chubbiness. You
fat
know?
chubby people, but it is sort of it is a tourist thing, is what it comes across to me. Like the fat mainlanders coming here
Yeah.
um
But it's
and
very weird. She has
being
like all these pictures hanging on her wall of like
they're
random
beautiful.
strangers.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. This, that is very funny. It is, but weird.
And that
Trying to
guy's
think, there was
always
like one
got an
more
ice
thing.
cream cone. He's got always got some ice cream to drop. It's crazy.
I always got ice cream to drop.
Always a fresh
So a couple.
cone. It's like
So there's so there's a couple things that are kind of interesting about the production of this movie. The There's a few things that were edited down for violence. Um, the scene where Jumba comes into their home.
uh-huh.
Originally, he used his gun a lot more. He was like shooting at all of them a lot more.
Hmm.
Um, they So that was toned down in the final version. Also, the plane chase. So originally, they didn't use Jumba's hidden spaceship. They like hijack a plane, like a jumbo jet,
Oh yeah, I
and
remember that. Yeah, I
they
do remember
fly it
that.
through Honolulu,
Yeah.
like around towers and stuff.
Yeah.
And this is like, and this movie's coming out like not a year after 9/11, so they had to like scramble and rework that whole thing in like just like a month or two or something.
Yeah. That's right.
Um, so which is crazy because the finished product looks great. I mean,
Yeah.
I like the fact that I kind of, having seen the almost completed um, animation of the which you can watch on Disney Plus, by the way. You can see all the like deleted scenes in the previous versions. Yeah, that plane sequence is like, I kind of prefer the way it is in the finished product. Ultimately,
Hmm.
there is some like fun little bits that you miss out on. There's like a couple of jokes, small jokes, and little things that are flying around that you sort of miss. But overall, I think it works better that it's like two of the alien craft that are flying around
Yeah.
one of the other the less inhabited islands. And then the third thing, which is actually funny because you can, if you're paying attention, you can kind of see that they all of a sudden just changed the furniture inside of Lilo and Nani's house,
Hmm.
and that is the scene where Lilo's hiding. So originally she's hiding in the dryer, and she pushes the dryer out, and they've now changed it to a cabinet with a pizza box that she like pushes down. Which is, they didn't want kids imitating that. I think in theaters it was in the dryer, but like it was something where it was like they didn't want kids imitating that.
Right.
So,
Hmm.
which is like fine. I remember going in the dryer, climbing in the dryer when I was a little kid.
Yeah, fine. I went in the
But
dryer and
yeah,
I'm
I
fine.
did it. I did it. I'm okay. But yeah, it was I was playing with my brothers at the time, and so that I
Mm.
also I also don't remember if it was like I think it was like an old dryer that was like unhooked that I used to do that with. So yeah, don't let your kids play in the dryer. That's really bad. But but it's funny because you can see in other shots, you can see the dryer there.
Mm.
And it's like
Okay.
for that one scene, it's changed to a like cabinet with a pizza box in it. So that's kind of funny. But
Nice.
I also really like the cute little montage at the very end. They had a cute little
Oh,
like
yeah, after the fact. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay, yeah, I like
just
that.
like which is actually I think that's one of the things when they reworked the because they saved I think there was like a few seconds of time that they shaved off, if not a minute that they shaved off from when they changed the plane scene around. Um, so they actually had like time and budget to sort of like continue like well we can add like little scenes here at the end. Um, so they did, and those are really fun and really cute.
Yeah, nice. Stitch in general as a character has been one I've always loved over the
Mm.
years. Just like I like getting little Stitch merchandise here and there, and obviously it's huge. Like Stitch for a movie that came out in 2002 has remained a huge like icon of Disney merchandise. It's kind of crazy. So
Yeah, so there's a friend of mine that doesn't live around here anymore, but he used to tell us that Stitch was like one of his favorite things, and he had to like actively tell his family to stop buying him Stitch things because they kept buying him stuff for like since he was like a little kid.
yeah,
He has like a huge Switch Stitch memorabilia like collection of stuff,
Stitch
and it's
2
just
coming soon.
eventually he had to be like stop. Stitch too.
Yeah,
Well, there was a Stitch the
there
movie, wasn't
was.
there? One of the yeah.
I watched Stitch the movie, which is a perfect
Hmm.
lead into the series. So if you're ever gonna watch the series, I
Hmm.
watch that first. And then there's also Lilo and Stitch 2. Stitch has a glitch, which I
Right.
still haven't watched. And then there's also like a Leroy and Stitch.
Yeah.
Maybe another one. I'm not sure, but at least
I think
those I
there
know
might
of.
be another one too. Yeah,
So um,
and then there's that the anime too,
allegedly, this
which
is
is bizarre.
crazy. I've never heard of
Allegedly,
this.
you never hear about this before?
No.
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now. It's Stitch! Exclamation point. It is an
Stitch.
yes, it is an anime. It's a Japanese anime television series. It's a spin-off of Disney's Lilo and Stitch,
Wow.
serving as the second TV series after Lilo and Stitch the series. The anime aired in Japan from October 2008 to June 2011.
Who is it? This Japan only
Um,
thing?
no, I believe it aired in the US. I think it aired on the Disney Channel.
I see someone on Reddit ask like a year ago asking where to watch it, and people are like giving them links to like random stream sites. So I guess it's not available very
It's probably hard,
well.
yeah.
Interesting,
It's produced by Madhouse. Wow.
but
Yeah,
yeah.
it features a Japanese girl named Yuna Kamehara who takes the place of Lilo Pelikai as the best friend of Stitch.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Okay.
It's similar vibes because it's taking place in it's not a real island, but it's taking place near Okinawa, like a fictional island near Okinawa. So you're going to get very similar Hawaiian vibes to that
Hmm.
because Okinawa. Oh, you could consider Okinawa like the Hawaii of Japan, in a way. So
Yeah. But okay, let's lock in our final scores then, huh? All right. 3, 2, 1. Flip. 8.
8.
Tarqaron score of 8. I do want to say Hawaiian roller coaster ride. It's one of my favorites, all timer. Like, still love that song every time I
Oh
hear it.
yeah, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. So yeah, for me, this is the ultimate vibes Disney movie. It's sweet, it's
Mm.
charming, some great characters, great voices. It's very fun.
Yeah, I guess we didn't really talk so much about the art direction, but some like this is like Disney 2D animation at I think its peak because they really blend the like it's such a different art style than anything they'd really done. up to this point.
Some like
It's like they were
watercolor
really trying to be,
background.
yeah, that sort of gouache sort of look. It looks beautiful. It's just yeah, it's kind of just a feast for the eyes the whole time. And
Yeah.
um the um yeah, the character designs, it's sort of like during this period they were trying to experiment with different styles, because you got like Emperor's New Groove, which is its own very like South American inspired style and color palette, versus this, which is very very heavy like watercolors inspired. It's just like it looks it looks so good. It looks so pretty. And they do like a really decent, like they do a really solid job of blending the sort of CG animation that they were experimenting a lot with at the
Yeah.
time. And they blend it really well. So
Yeah.
yeah, good stuff. Definitely one of the big highlights of considered the post Renaissance era of Disney. So
So what are our
yeah.
expectations for the live action remake? What are we thinking? Do we think it'll be good?
I don't know. It's just like having seen it again. I'm just like the vibes and like the like. Are they going to show the girls fighting in a realistic way? It's just
No,
like
they'll talk it out,
I
but
don't
surely, and not even.
I don't I don't see that. Like, for lack of a better term, there is kind of an edge to this movie. It's not like an edgy film, but like it doesn't like shy away from like the uglier parts of stuff that goes on. I mean, for crying out loud, there's a whole plot. The whole major plot line is like they're going to take Lilo away. Like Child Protection Services is going to just
Right.
take her away because Nani's not taking care of her well enough for the government to be like, we got to step in because this is not a safe home for her. Like that. I don't want them to shy away from any of the like more like the more like serious elements of the plot line. But like I don't know if I trust them to do that. Everything just feels like sanitized and sanded down in terms of how they do a lot of these things now. So it's like I don't know.
That's not even my
So
my main
we'll see.
concern is that Stitch is like naturally we've gone through this so many times. How just you take something animated, it's known for being expressive and wacky
Mm.
and fun, and you put them into a live action movie, but CGI version of it. It's never gonna hit the same. And even in the little promos, it doesn't hit the same for me. It's not like, oh, it's Stitch. It's like
They
something
made him
slightly
fuzzy.
off. Yeah, I don't know.
They made him look fuzzy, which I guess lends more credence to him being thought of at all as a dog. Which is like,
Yeah,
I mean that to me was some of
Absurd.
the humor of that was some of the humor of it. It's like, oh, he's a dog. It's like, oh, that's no dog. What is that thing?
but I'm just
Um,
curious on these. Even what the story's gonna be like, because I feel like I heard somewhere that Gantu's not in it. I don't know.
what?
I don't know what else is not in there. I don't know. We'll see.
What?
See if that's true.
Isn't he like the main? He's like arguably the main villain
Right,
of the piece.
right. But they're like, how do we
Even
do
though he's
that?
not
I
really that
guess.
bad of a guy, but
Like, how do we make this look good? F it.
we can't have a space cop be depicted as a bad guy. Wait, why not? I don't understand
Cop
why we can't do
stocks
that.
are through the roof right now. I can't do this. No, I think it's just because he's like a fish guy. I'm also just like disturbed thinking
Yeah.
what he would look like in the.
Oh yeah, that's true.
He's like,
Well, hey, but they made King Shark look amazing in the Suicide Squad. King Shark
oh,
was
okay.
great.
I was like, what are we talking
Nanoe
about?
looked great.
Yeah, I guess so, but
Yeah,
he wouldn't look like that though. He's like,
he wouldn't
'cause
look like that though. It's true.
yeah. So I don't know what we're doing exactly. I wonder what the cast will be like this, because they had to cast a little girl for Lilo. I wonder how she
Yeah,
is.
you almost have to have like a. The thing is like you almost have to have like a she's weird in a way that like Wednesday Addams is weird. You know, it's not like quite as drastic where
They
it's
should have
like
cast
she's
Jenna
in
Ortega.
terms
Is
of
what you're
society.
saying?
Yeah, Jenna Ortega should have played Lilo. That's all I'm saying. No, but like you have to have like that sort of like she's different. Like she's there's something about her that she just doesn't relate to the other girls
Yeah.
in a way, you know. She's even her sister can like has a hard time like dealing with her sort of imagination and like her, you know. So that's sort of the I don't you have to nail that, and I haven't really seen a whole lot in terms of the advertising, so I don't really know if how well they're depicting that. But like that's I think another thing that I'm like, no, I don't know how well you can like nail that down
We'll see.
in a live action setting.
Is this
Maybe
a
you can.
is this a guaranteed blockbuster hit because it's Lilo and Stitch? Is
Well,
it?
it wasn't guaranteed for Snow White, but I think
Well, I'm
this one,
saying, yeah.
given the time it's coming out, given people are this is like the 2000s nostalgia. It seems to be is pretty kind of big right now. This might be a hit. I have a feeling it's going to be
Well,
at least
here's
a
the thing.
moderate hit. It's probably not going to be like a huge, like as big as some of the others, but
Well,
I feel like this is going to make a lot of money.
don't get my point twisted at all. Snow White was not like the max amount it could get is I don't think it is the minimum of what Lilo and Stitch can get, because I think Lilo and Stitch is incredibly marketable. Stitch is like maybe the most popular Disney character. Like people love Stitch that didn't even grow up with the movie. People love Stitch that grew up with the movie. So it's such a widespread appeal, and he's like there's such a popular property now more than ever. That's why
That's
I'm wondering like is that
Yeah, that is a really good point. I'm trying to think. What would be another Disney character with comparable marketability? That's a great question. Actually,
Mickey
now that you mention
motherfucking
it,
Mouse
I mean,
in his
Mickey is a
dreams?
popular Mickey is a popular enough commodity, but
Yeah.
like you're right that like Stitch is just like
It's
very
icon.
brandable.
It's,
Like
it's
it's just
Stitch
a
and
very
it's
economable.
Jack
Yeah,
Skellington. These are the two that you see
yeah. Jack Skellington is
everywhere.
the other really big one. Yeah, that Jack Skellington had his heyday. I will say,
Mm.
he's still everywhere. Don't get me wrong, but it's not like it was in like the mid 2000s where it's like everybody had like it's Jack Skellington everywhere.
You just know it's going to be successful when they do live action Nightmare Before Christmas, though. You know it's going to hit.
That's gonna
That's
be what is that? Why would you say such a
no.
thing? Why would you will that into
There's no way to
existence?
even try that, right? Because it's not a
No,
single thing you
it
can
would be
even
what's
do
the
live
point?
action. It would be like Lion King live action.
What would even be the point?
Hmm.
Also, it's like like half
Well,
of the charm of that
we
film is
ask
that it's
ourselves
claymation.
this. We'll ask ourselves this next year when we're watching the Moana live action remake. All right.
Well, hey, that's been put on indefinite hold.
Oh
Much like
yeah,
actually
that's right.
all of Disney's live action products get
That's right.
uh, all of the remakes basically get like a stand down. Like we got to
But so I'm
stand down
wondering,
on
like,
production.
because if Stitch is incredibly successful, which I think it might just be based on name, like,
Yeah,
do they know it's just because of the name, or they'll be like, oh wait, maybe people will fuck with the live action. Let's keep it going again. You
let's
know,
keep it going. Let's bring it back.
it's like $1 billion
Well, no,
Lilo and Stitch.
that's when all the bigwigs and the corporate heads are like, all right, well, what worked about this film that the other ones didn't work? It's like we got to figure out. This one had Stitch in it.
This one had a non-live action thing in the live action. Maybe there's something to
Yeah,
that, and then they somehow
yeah.
find their way making animated movies again. They logic their way into making animated movies,
Making 2D animated movies again.
and
Yeah,
they're
that'd be
saying
great.
and they think they're making a live action movie. I don't
Yeah,
know.
but there's some.
Yeah. Anyway,
Well, what is stop motion other than a live action film that's been?
yeah, I'm waiting. Yeah, I'm ready for the stop motion era of Disney. It's about to have a decade of stop motion film.
Wallace and Gromit was a big hit. No,
Yeah,
why don't we do something like that?
yeah,
Do Nightmare Before Christmas 2,
but make it British.
Christmas Boogaloo.
That's right. All right. So yeah, we'll be here when Nightmare Before
Anyway,
Christmas 2
oh
comes
yeah.
out, though. We'll be here for that.
No, no, please don't.
What's the next
All right.
Disney thing? What's the next
What we
Disney
mean?
movie slated? Do we
That's a
know?
great question. I don't
I
know.
don't even know.
I don't know the answer to that.
And so Lilo and Stitch is the last live action one, right? Now that it's been halted, I don't know.
Hmm.
Maybe it could be the end of the road for our live action. Once we go back, finally clean up those ones we missed.
For right now, yeah, we could do that. Oh, so next for Disney animation is Zootopia 2.
Hit banger.
Uh, there's an unannounced 2026 project, and then Frozen 3 and 4.
They both drop same day.
That'd be epic, but no. So like, is that like Deathly How the no? What was it? There's the play, Harry Potter and the Cursed Child parts 1 and 2. It's like you go see the play and you see both parts, and it's like
Mm.
what?
Maybe we'll have a
Let's
Wicked
just
moment.
call it
It'll
one
be back
thing.
to back years Frozen.
Yeah, maybe,
Yeah, I don't know.
maybe. Yeah, Frozen 3 is 2027.
So hyped for that banger of
Epic,
a movie.
freaking epic.
All right,
Well,
that's it for
we'll
us
be here for it
here.
though.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Next week we're gonna be talking about the live action remake.
And we will be.
We'll see. That's the one the most like up in the air on whether it could actually just be good. I don't expect it to be great. I never expect a live action movie to be great. You
No,
know, as a baseline, I don't. But who knows?
my brother. Well, you can't be worse than my brother.
There have been far worse. It's one of the best,
There have been.
actually.
That's actually one of the better. That is one of the. I will say this as somebody who didn't give a very high score. That was actually not that bad. Like honestly,
Yeah.
the songs were horrible, but like as a movie, it was very watchable.
So subscribe to the channel for more. Like the video, leave a comment letting us know your thoughts. And if you enjoyed this video, why don't you go check out episode 1 of Survivor China. All right.
Sure,
We watch Survivor every week on the channel. All
we
right.
do. We do. China is a fun season.
It is.
So
So check that out. And yeah, we got a variety of content every week. A whole back catalog of movie reviews and plenty of Disney, live action Disney, all that going on. All right. Thank you for watching.
all right.
Ohana.